Got redecorated, isn't it so fresh? I'm so excited. Don't waste our time with stupid questions. Let's get this over with. Good. We're raring to go. Gotta say, I don't hate it at all.
Well,
Put the show on the road.
Chills,
Please find your assigned seats. Deadly judgment, deadly deception, deadly betrayal, deadly riddle, deadly defense, deadly class trial. Ho, buddy. Ho, buddy. Woo, wee, yo. Alright. Increases bullet capacity for bullet time battles. What other skills I got? Alright. Here we go. All rise! Let's do it.
Let's begin with a basic explanation. If you can figure out who then I'll
Yeah, we all heard this
everyone
before.
beside. Okay, let's talk about the murder weapon.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Interesting.
I hate that I always miss that.
Certainly would make for a powerful weapon.
Or Chihiro.
Chihiro's fatal injury.
It appears it was.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a... What kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
Boom.
No, it's wrong.
It was a dumbbell.
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Yes! That's so creepy!
I guess that's why they'd say Kyoko's so iron-masked, iron-faced, whatever.
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Fiendish serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro? What? New elements? Lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Truth bills will disappear if you hit these lines. So think of them as obstacles in the debate. But there's a way to keep this white noise from getting in your way. Press S button to attach a silencer, which you can use to shoot down the white noise. However, if you shoot an actual remark with your silencer instead of the white noise, time will decrease, so take careful when you aim. If reaction difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all. In which case, you can forget about the silencer and just focus on the situation in front of you.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
No, it's wrong.
Okay, got it.
I might know one reason he could be involved.
Because of the way she's suspended.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What?
That's kinda weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be 2 defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
Yamada's an idiot.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Never made public? What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
The suspension.
I got it! Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way. Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of. It's because the culprit in this case is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes, in fact, it's Toko.
Oh. We're just splitting it wide open like that?
What?
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
What? Hey, okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has like bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
One with a split personality.
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Another riddle? Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
Hangman's Gambit. Oh snap, hold up. I'm gonna get this wrong. I know I am, because I don't know why I can't. I can't piece that together for some reason. Yeah, I'm about to totally mess up this case, because I don't know how to piece that together. Wait. Yes. Oh, schizo? Yeah, schizo.
Now I understand.
I don't know why I couldn't piece that together at first.
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Why'd they have to use the fancy word for it? Just say disassociative, split. You could have used any other word, but you used schizo, which you never used in the entire time. Darn it, man.
Huh? I think I read that somewhere in the file too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Oh, okay. But still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up...
Yeah, she looked like she was, What has a friend back? Hopping, skip!
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
How?
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised! I can't believe you lied!
You have only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to.
That's... I mean, in this case, you kind of can't let that lay low.
This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale.
Okay, on that end, MIYAKE, that's a little messed up.
Besides, you broke your promise first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter what, you wouldn't let Genocide Jack kill anyone. But in spite of that promise...
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
How many times do I have to tell you? I never said that, but you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from killing, could you?
I tried. I swear I tried to control it,
But your efforts were useless. What a disappointment.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished. All that's left is to hear from the person in question directly.
The person you don't mean...
Now, Genocide Jack. Ugh!
Hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
Genocide Jill? What?
What the heck? So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
Is that Aaron Fitzgerald? Holy cow.
What the fuck is this?
What happened to you?
Not Toko. That's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's fault.
I think I already see what the punishment's going to be. Suspended, and then something bad is going to happen afterwards.
So intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
This is the murderous fiend, Genocide Jack. This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid? And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed.
And hers was that she was Genocide Jack / Joe.
Let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster.
So who could have done it? What?
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need? Give it up. You killed her.
To prove what he said isn't quite right.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely.
No, it's wrong.
Got it.
Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Tell him.
Oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things.
The scissors.
Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very
Oh, I see.
everything.
Because instead of being suspended by the scissors, because that seems to be like the other thing that kind of ties this whole thing together. Being suspended by the scissors by the wall. but instead was suspended by a rope.
But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee.
Did they really just they just referenced Chef Boyardee? Say word.
This is no creation of mine.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one. A gun! For one, the cause of death is different.
Yeah, because this case, because most of the time when Genocide Jack kills, it's all fatal wounds with scissors and particularly stabby objects, but this was a blunt trauma kill.
In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right. In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce.
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
A gun! Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them.
The same scissors.
Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement. Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac? Are you referring to me?
Big Mac.
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case.
All males.
There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
They're all males. None of the victims are female.
Pattern.
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Was her lover?
A gun!
Because Chihiro's female.
Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They were all male.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the movie side of me just hates it. But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely. When you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lolly cur!
Lowly? Cur?
Wow. He just got reversed.
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect.
That does make some amount of sense.
Whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the
Okay, so this case is definitely not as open and shut as I thought it was. Oh no.
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
Ooh.
She's fully equipped. That's right, so I can kill anywhere, anytime. Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. You can't, can you? Gutter dogs, all of you. Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway.
I think it was Byakuya.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Wait a minute. It had to be Byakuya. He was one of the only other ones that was really fascinated by the Genocide Jack cases. He knew the fashion. He knew how Toko was. It had to be Byakuya.
Yeah. That's why we
And he was acting really strange.
And not some copycat killer or whatever.
Uh-oh, selected. Byakuya. I can really select a dead person?
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Got it. Byakuya took advantage of the fact that Chihiro was weak.
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
I call him Togami. Don't matter.
Then the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was
to elude us all and get us off his case so he could get out of here and be the Blackened.
because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
Okay, can you not? Don't have an orgasm in the court.
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me. Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now,
When you got in the
the
library.
way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
They're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed, wouldn't you agree? Suspicious. Seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy,
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
But what would make you jump to that first? Like, even if Chihiro was or wasn't the victim, like, there's no way you just knew. Why would you? No, something about that doesn't line up.
on the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
Clear contradiction of what Byakuya just said. Another new element? What now? Call it truth flashback? Aim at a weak spot, hold down triangle. Then you'll memorize that weak spot. This memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. Shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from the truth cylinder. Use your keen wits, won't you? Alright. Time to find out.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya, he was acting weird.
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the...
That's a natural reaction!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girl. There was no time for point. What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya, he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out...
That's a natural reaction!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a... So of course I would suggest we... There was no time. What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting weird.
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girl...
That's a natural reaction!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a... So of course I would suggest... There was no time. What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me
Okay,
with
there's two refutes.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
But he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity to check...
That's a natural reaction!
The victim was Chihiro.
Got it.
No, that's wrong!
Now I see. Oh wow, this is getting deep.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak. Huh? What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us. What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
Oh snap. Hold up.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
Probably what was used to suspend her? The extension cord.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope.
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Shoot!
Okay, maybe.
What? The difference? You want me to explain when I want to kill? And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope.
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Oh.
Obviously, somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
Oh.
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Got it. There we go. Jesus.
Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, Or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
And Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right? What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
Goes deeper, doesn't it?
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime. Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that.
Yeah, but there was a possibility that the actual murder itself could have taken place somewhere else. Excuse me. All right.
How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene? That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Hey, don't just move on without permission. What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
The posters.
I got it!
I got it.
The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
The
Yes.
poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
Like, for
So
real.
you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet, but I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
It got moved to the boys' locker room.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too? But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible. In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room, then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
She had to borrow someone else's handbook. There's no other way.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook! She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
No, that's wrong.
Got it. Starting to one-shot these now. Let's go.
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
No. It's a regulation against loaning handbooks, not borrowing.
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup! Hit the nail square on the noggin!
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts glaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just... wrong?
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Hold on a second. I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the?
Break it down,
You
Kyoko.
finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say?
She's been keeping quiet for a little bit, actually. She's kind of been letting this unravel. Thank you, Kyoko. You've been letting me feel like a true detective right now.
There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry. This'll make the whole trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
Kyoko, what you got?
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time. Be sure to examine the entire body very carefully.
Examine her.
No, wait! It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds, you know?
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura.
What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about?
That's not it at all. Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Be sure to check her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Her entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this?
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible. This girl is
what?
Not even a girl?
Is a boy.
Transgendered.
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
What? So she was a trap this entire Oh!
What? You're joking, right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then it's really true?
Chihiro was a guy? Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
Didn't seem like it.
He was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had killed him!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh?
So
Interesting.
Chihiro was a trap. Ouch.
Yes, that certainly does make things much more exciting. Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial. Ahem. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial. We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy. And because the victim was male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
I really definitely did not want to think about that. At all. And I never did. Oh my.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body, but yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd. I knew he felt a little off. There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
Very interesting. This has become very interesting indeed.
He's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya's the killer?
Well, without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
He just seems to be too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
And you think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He consciously chose to use the extension cord, knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it. And Byakuya, when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you. And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy, if you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit. I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to alter it.
Are you fucking with us right now?
No, I am not effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't you say? Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility, because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
I got it!
I need to find out more holes in the murder.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but... Did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
Shoot!
Isn't there a single clue?
Did nobody get...
I'm sure if someone saw the... Perhaps someone saw the victim at...
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only the killer. And it's not like they're just gonna turn themselves in. Game over, man.
Yay! No! Not game over! Isn't there a single clue that might lead well?
Clues are one thing. Did nobody get a look?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they...
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
It's over. It's all over. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer. And only...
No, that's wrong.
Okay, got it.
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think, Celeste?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
Huh? Really?
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag, and then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
Track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
It seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
And that is when you said something that struck me as rather odd.
Better get going, I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much, enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
Ooh, what a marvelous friendship!
The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit, right? So we just gotta figure out who it was.
But knowing what we know, I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Seriously?
Who is it? Who's the killer?
Think back to the track jacket and duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on two pieces of evidence that we don't have?
What? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
As was noted, the evidence is already gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say, but fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Let's see. Can't say for sure though.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was heading. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! We picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
What?
So, what you're saying is, the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
Ouch. That just hurt my soul.
First of all, when he was on his way, so next week, why did he choose?
What do you mean, the...
I got it! We picked that track, it matched the one...
So, the killer was wearing my tracksuit. I don't even have a tracksuit, because exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to...
No way.
Not a chance.
Facts! How did he know the tracksuit was blue? Okay, got it. Got it.
We picked that It matched the one the culprit.
So, what? The killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him.
No, that's wrong.
Right. How does he know it was blue?
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh? What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
Yeah, he never gave a specific color. I mean, she never gave a specific color.
She never said anything about the jacket's color. So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you? You just... Hey, Celeste. What color was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was you.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I just...
Oh no, Mondo? Why, Mondo?
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was
If he was the killer.
is if he saw Cherry with it before he died. That's the only possibility.
Cherry? Are you talking about Chihiro?
Yeah, Genocide Jill was very weird.
So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either.
It was in the
According
duffel
to
bag.
Celeste's testimony. When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
Because I hate him. The way he was acting.
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off.
No, that was
Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women you only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick.
Facts!
And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as... Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me.
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
Yo, just thinking about that, I can... Oh my god, I can actually feel that in my chest right now. Oh, snap. That actually did just make my heart drop a little bit. What?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah! He would never do something like that! This is a false accusation!
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
Not necessarily.
My time has nearly come.
You for me?
That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Please be something useful.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, does your
E
confidence
for me.
just get up in
Yamada.
one day?
Dude,
It's fine,
what?
Man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then, here it is.
Hmm? What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
I got it!
No doubt.
We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
But it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so
Fragile, yeah. Mr. 10 tons.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
I got it! You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that?
Well, if I didn't, I would have lost health, so yes!
Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession,
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already. Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break! I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna. The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees.
Wait,
Strange
so when he
you don't
went...
get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
Is that why he wanted to do that thing with
But
Kiyotaka?
how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa! Seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Mondo.
Here's my answer! Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What? Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, He'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the Sonic could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on! You've got it all wrong! He would never kill! I don't accept this! Show me the proof! The actual solid proof!
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Let's test Makoto's. If what he says, you broke your own hand.
In other words, if Mondo's hand, then that proves.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
See? Look! Makoto was wrong! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
Let's test if what he says is you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's hand, then that proves that.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
See? Makoto was wrong! Mondo wouldn't hurt.
Oh, this is really starting to annoy me.
Let's test Makoto's. If what he says is correct, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo, then that proves that.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
No, he's wrong.
Got it. Took long enough. Freaking white noises.
Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
Asahina, you missed the part about the borrowing.
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting. As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
That just sounds weird, but alright.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch!
What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong! You are wrong! You have to be wrong! Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning?
Time for the
That
summary.
way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
I'm gonna close the case.
Isn't that right, Mondo Orada?
Jesus Christ.
Wait! No! This can't be right! Where's your evidence? Yeah! Where's your evidence? You need evidence! You need proof!
Kyotaka's an idiot.
Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him!
Now what? Fever time and Nega time.
Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. False. I refuse to vote. Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. Show me some evidence.
This should prove it.
Sorry, Kiyotaka. Mondo's gotta go.
Thinking so far is right, Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I did it. I killed him.
Oh! You just did all that and you just confessed. Huh. Even Leon was more shook than this. What? Pretty sure I'm gonna get a C on the last one, right? No! All A's! Hello! Not bad.
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that.
Wait! Hold on!
No waiting, no holding on. Time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Grab your lever and give it a yank! Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Alright, here we go. Stacks up to Mondo.
What?
Mondo Owada.
Unbelievable.
The vote was not unanimous. Kiyotaka chose the wrong answer. Treading very close to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimaru. You need to be more careful. I refuse to believe it. There's no way he could kill someone.
Sorry.
What is this?
Why are you apologizing? Why? Why did you do it?
Now then.
It looks like Mondo's taken a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf.
Actually,
The story of the murder this time is the sad story of two men. Oh, but for anyone who doesn't want to hear it, you can hit the circle button to fast forward the text. Oh, snap. Anyway, there was once a young boy, and his name was Chihiro Fujisaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak, even though you're a boy. He'd heard things like that as long as he could remember, and he couldn't even overcome his weakness. On the contrary, he tried to hide and buried himself further and further into that weakness, take on the fragile form of a petite young girl, choosing that as his way out. Nobody will say anything about even though you were a boy. No matter how tightly he wrapped himself in that shell, the inferiority complex had already taken root deep inside of him, not so easily weeded out. As it turned out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear, instead it only grew stronger and stronger. Weak.
Weak.
Oh my god. Once the killing game had begun at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, this world is survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets, which of course included Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more than willing to divulge. Even though he dresses like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy. And now it's something Chihiro couldn't let anyone find out, no matter the cost. If that was revealed, it would be the end. The hardened shell would crack, the armor would fall away. Without a doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. Everyone figured being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling into despair, and yet...
I'm sorry.
I don't want to talk about it right now.
But
I also don't want to leave things the way they are, so maybe I can talk about it later. After I try my best to become strong, then I can tell everyone. Annoyingly, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
that's right.
Now's my
I
chance.
want to change.
I'm going to get stronger and accept who I am. Strong enough so that when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay. I'll get better. With that thought at the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action, and so... That day, he made the commitment to begin exercising. He was prepared to retain his mind and body, but sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it.
Hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be good to ask for someone's help. He wanted to tell that person his secret first, and then ask them to help him from there. The person he went to...
Yeah, that's right.
It was me. Sure was. The biker gang fella had been painfully clear about how important his manly promises were, so Chihiro probably figured that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep the secret. Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was a very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will give me some courage. So he went and asked Mondo to help him get strong. That was his aspiration, and he thought that only Mondo's support would he ever be able to come close to that.
Correct.
So then, that must be why Mondo did what he did, to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro. He did. I mean, that's why Mondo carried Chihiro to the boys' locker room from the boys' locker room to the girls' locker room. Wasn't that to cover up what he'd done?
Certainly.
Could have been part of it, but I don't think that was the main reason. Was to keep the promise between men he'd made to Chihiro. How does moving the body keep his secret? Because if everyone knew he'd been killed in the boys' locker room, then everyone would have been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us would have immediately begun to suspect his identity, so he tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting him in the girls' locker room and stealing his handbook, see? Then Mondo did all that to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro, who he'd also killed? What? So you not only had killed Chihiro, but you also kept your promise to him at the same time? The more I hear you talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trusted each other. I don't know why. What? Trusted each other, right? So why? Why did you? Because no matter what, I didn't want anyone to know.
I knew it.
That's what triggered it after all. Possibility of having your embarrassing memories and secrets exposed.
What is this?
Nothing could have been that bad. Something he didn't want anyone to know, even if it meant killing someone. It's impossible.
Don't make me repeat myself.
How many times must I repeat myself? To judge others by your own standard is the height of folly. Even if you can't comprehend it, he obviously can. That's all there is to it. While we're on the subject, why don't I tell you? That embarrassing memory, that secret he didn't want anyone to know? You know what Mondo did? He killed his own brother? Oh, wow. Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader, makes all the hoodlums and riffraff across the country tremble. But the only reason he had the chance to join a gang in the first place was because of a certain someone, his brother. Mondo's older brother was named Daya Owada. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because of Daya that Mondo ever got on a motorcycle. Mondo's brother was his only family growing up. He was the only one Mondo could trust and respect. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he did. So he imitated him in everything he did. Mondo was the epitome of the starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang. And before anyone knew it, it had grown into the biggest biker gang in the country. Daya, the older brother, number one of the gang, and his number two, his younger brother Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy, but when Mondo started to think about how he would have to take over the gang from his brother someday, his brother's greatness, his reputation began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul. The kid's gonna take over for Daya, huh? Daya created this gang with his bare hands. Mondo's just along for the ride. Can someone like that really be our leader? All that'll do is make the gang look bad. Almost every day, Mondo heard the gossip and whispers of the other members of the gang, which is why... I gotta get stronger. Stronger than Daya. Once, just one time. No matter what, I gotta win.
With me.
I don't care what it takes. I gotta come out on top. And on the night of his amazing brother's retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to a street race. During the race, tragedy struck. The kid brother pushed ahead with reckless abandon, eager for victory, and dashed into oncoming traffic, but suddenly... Lying in his kid brother's arms, the older brother delivered his final words. "My bad, kid. I seriously, sorry." Of course he knew it was his brother's fault, but Daya never blamed him for what happened. "Hey kid, the rest is up to you. No matter what, you gotta keep the gang together. 'Cause it's the team, you and me put together. It's a promise between men." He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang. In order to keep the gang together and keep the promise to his brother, he could never admit to anyone that it was his own weakness that had caused the accident. And as a result, the team was made even stronger under the banner of the kid who'd bested his big brother. Daya was going to lose to his kid brother, so he got stupid and got himself killed. That became the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became the truth. He wanted to lead the team so bad he was willing to tell all kinds of lies about his brother. I'm just strong. 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 And yet, as soon as our killing game began, he realized, no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. And then the hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. At that point, it was clear. I would have no problem shedding light on his secret. Mondo killed his own brother, older brother. No matter what, I couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I'd been carrying around, it would have been for nothing. So that's why Mondo. After I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled up with all kind of fuzzy uneasiness and just started swirling around. I never felt anything like it before. I didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while, that fuzzy uneasiness turned itself into a rock-hard lump of anxiety way down in my stomach. It was right around then that Chihiro asked me to start working out with him. And right there, he told me a secret. Seriously? Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry I lied to you. But why? Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden?
Huh?
'Cause I mean, you've kept that secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would...
But...
You're right, but...
I want to change.
I wrap myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. His words were like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing the lie I'd been living myself. I have to change. I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong it can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us.
You piece of...
So what? You're saying I should just say it?
What?
You're saying if I really am, I should just be able to tell everyone my secret? Huh? I was jealous. I was jealous of Chihiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness to try and overcome it. It was that kind of strength I never had, so I was jealous of him. That jealousy broke me.
What?
You making fun of me? I'm strong? Are you messing with me right now?
No!
I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong, Mondo. I felt like I could hear something starting to creak. Something inside my heart. What did he want me to do? What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just sit back and let my secret get revealed and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
Damn you!
You have to tell me all that. You're trying to rub my failure in my face.
I just wanted to...
I just really admire you. I admire your strength.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. I am strong. I'm strong. There goes a repeat line again. Stronger than you.
You son of a bitch!
And stronger than Daya. I don't remember anything after that. Woke up again. He was laying at my feet covered in blood. I had a dumbbell in my hand and I was just staring at him down on the ground. Hey.
I killed him. I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
Mondo. He was normally so aggressive, so angry. He hid that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. A weakness like that lived in a heart like his, and it turned him cold-blooded. Look at him. You see? You're all just like him. For a secret from the past, for a memory, for that, he killed another living human in cold blood. He couldn't cut free of his regrets from the outside world. He doesn't know what true strength is. Do you see hope anywhere in there? Because I sure don't. Just shut up. Go ahead, say that again. I dare you.
Yep.
I'll say it as many times as I want. Is what I want to say, but unfortunately, I can't do that right now. Because the time for punishing is fast approaching.
It can't be.
Execution.
Well,
That's
now,
what I promised you,
well,
right?
now.
The blackened that disturbs the peace will be punished.
Ridiculous.
Hold on.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
For Mondo Owada, the ultimate biker gang leader. Wait.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
Alright, let's see how grisly this one is.
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
It's probably gonna have something to do with like a motorcycle. Or that same, the same truck that killed his brother. Something to do with that. Gotta be. Okay, motorcycle, yep. The Cage of Death. Ooh. That just sent an entire chill through my body. Whew. Laugh at death and your soul will forever be at peace. Can't be. My brother. Another murder and another execution. I want to feel again. Everyone's lives are taken so lightly here. I feel like I might be going mad. And I'll just let it happen. Kiyotaka. Like a sad scream to invade our skulls, we were each forced to realize once again, but of course he had to. What a disappointment. This is the end of the game? Byakuya! Come on, yo, stop!
What is this?
You're completely insane, you know that? A game? One of our friends is dead, do you realize that?
Naturally.
Of course I do, because this is a game of life or death. Or this game is life or death.
Hey,
I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have a response except that
however,
I just don't understand why. Why did you go out of your way to disguise Mondo's crime? Why? Isn't it obvious? Because it made things more interesting. It's calm, emotionless, like the voice of death, chilled me to the bone. Last night when the murder took place, it was in the library as usual.
Honestly.
So you ignored the nighttime rule too. That rule never mattered to me. I don't recall agreeing to
There's
it.
nothing to be done.
No, I don't particularly care. Please continue. The night grew late, and I decided to return to my room, which is when I stumbled upon him. I spotted Mondo coming out of the girls' locker room. After he'd gone, I looked inside and saw the corpse. You mean you actually witnessed the murder? He was such a fool. Didn't have the slightest idea that I'd seen him. So you're saying you knew who the culprit was from the very beginning?
Right.
Indeed. But if that had been the end of it, how boring would that have been? I mean, what a waste of time to have the answer revealed right at the beginning. Which is why I decided to lend a little helping hand. I thought it would liven things up. You did all that to liven things up? So after hearing about Genocide Jack from Toko, you decided to use that to create the fake murder scene? But man, if we hadn't figured out who'd really done it, you would have been dead too, right? Well, obviously. I would have revealed the truth before it reached that point, of course. I could turn to and look me in the eye. I could feel his sharp eyes piercing into me. Thanks to a certain remarkable someone, it never did. And I was able to perform an interesting experiment.
Interesting.
Once I do decide to become black, and I now know who I have to watch out for. So at some point he is going to become blackened.
correct.
Because that's the plan, that's his plan. That was your reason. Are you satisfied? Yes, we're done listening to your story. Moving on. There's something I'd like to ask Monokuma. I'm up next. You like to perform these elaborate executions each time, correct? My question is, why? Do you like them? But you know, this punishment, this despair, it's not just for you. All this punishment, all this despair is my gift to mankind itself. You're over-exaggerating. I'm not over-exaggerating. These punishments are meant to transform all hope into despair. What do you mean? 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 Mean?
What the heck?
Mean. Good grief, I don't understand why you have to pick apart every little stupid thing. Whatever, it doesn't matter. In the end, I'm going to stand alone as the victor, then everything will be revealed to me. The noble son of the noble family. Truly you understand me. I think this is the start of a terrifying friendship. Shut up. I would never stoop to the level of a childish criminal like you. Let me just say this. After I have achieved complete victory, you're up next. I'm going to find you and kill you, understand?
In the name of my family.
The name of the Togami family, for which victory is a foregone conclusion.
All riled up.
So cool. It's like you're the main character of a video game or something. No trash mob for you. Whatever it takes, I will kill you. Temper. Sounds like someone needs a nap. Jesus. Kuma's laughter peeled across the courtroom and a certain curtain closed on the case of Chihiro and Mondo. But I knew that wasn't the end. Killing game would still continue, because the mastermind wouldn't let it end. For those of us who were still alive, our worst fear and despair kept on multiplying. It was the kind of despair that felt like a blind puppy had more of a future than us. All of our courage and our effort, our friendship, it felt like it amounted to nothing at all. It was the worst kind of despair.
Well, anyway, like I was saying, this is a pretty good spot. Yeah, a really good spot. Anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone before things even had a chance to get boring? Once things really get moving, it'll be like a roller coaster. There won't be any stopping it. Fear and despair charge forward at a speed nothing can hope to match. But I must admit, I'm disappointed. I went to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group, and you couldn't play your part. You do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right? Well, no biggie. Nothing we can do about it now. So just do your best to make things more exciting from now on, okay? After all, that's what everyone wants to see.
One thing I'd like to
As
ask.
long as you don't want to know my measurements, fire away.
Who is it? The 16th high school student I mean.
My, you really took me by surprise there. I know I said you could ask anything, but super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied. Because you see, that's my ace in the hole. And nobody'd be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close they were to their friends.
So there is a 16th that's supposed to be coming in, huh? Oh, buddy. Oh, boy. Down to 10. But if there's a 16th, then wouldn't that technically be 11? I'm confused. Crazy diamond present. Wahoo.
I know I shouldn't cry, but I've had enough. I can't take it anymore. Getting out of here anytime soon. It's impossible. I can't let myself think about how much I want to get out of here. If I keep thinking like that, I might decide to.
Hina. Donuts. You need some donuts. That'll cheer me up. Twisty donuts, jelly donuts, cream filled. Donut holes, masaladas.
Okay.
Oh God of donuts, I'm praying for a wonderful encounter. Ooh, please forgive me for breaking the nighttime rule. Right now, for me, donuts are an absolute necessary.
Huh?
Sound. Come from the bathhouse.
But
Yeah, but you know, don't check it out. Someone there? Yeah. Next generation legend, stand tall, galactic hero. What? Morning after the conclusion of the second class trial. Like always, I expected to start like any other day. That's what I expected, but today's count kind of sucks, huh? Toko and Byakuya refused to show up. Haven't seen Miss Asahina anywhere. Said her stomach was hurting, so she's taking it easy in her room for her today. Rather unusual of her. Normally she's so full of energy. Exactly what makes me worry.
So then,
It's just the 7 of us then. Looks that
How
way.
about that?
It's times like this where the committee chairman needs to get things going with a bang.
Impossible.
Or not. Hadn't said a word since everything that happened. One look at his face showed that he hadn't slept a wink last night. Because of Mondo. Two of them became so close, and then he finds out Mondo killed Chihiro, and then having to watch Mondo get punished, nothing he could do about it. You can't even imagine what it must have done to him.
well,
What's gonna happen now? We haven't found a way out, and we have no idea if help's ever gonna come.
It's like...
Now I'm all depressed just thinking about it. Simply have to make the best of things, do our best to get along, and live here together in peace. Forget about the outside world and accept this new life. It's the only hope we have now. Here forever. Here we have every convenience. Food, clothes, whatever you need is seen to. Why are you dissatisfied? Let me ask you this. What is it about the outside world that you long for? Competition, discrimination, victimization, and violence. As society grows, so does its perversion. In which case is our current situation, not demon, angel, pretty, pudgy princess.
Huh? Here we go!
And you the drill shop owner, the bunny-eared Amazon, cat, girl, dog, boy, or we're just as the Galactic King. What I mean is there is no 2D
There
here.
is nothing to be done.
The Master Nine push such base desire to their advantage, bending you to their will.
know?
Anyway, since Taka's like catatonic, as the oldest one here, I'm officially stepping up to take the lead. So we're all gonna work together and spend the rest of the day searching the school. Searching?
I'm right,
Well, I mean, since the class trial is over,
Perhaps.
there should be new places for us to investigate. That's the ticket. Maybe we'll find some clue
Well
there. And once we're done eating, let's split up and begin looking around. Problem with that, Celeste? There may well be a discovery waiting for us, which may further enrich our life here. The point is to look at the clues. She barged in on the
You called
conversation.
for me, and so I appeared.
Genocide? Nobody called for you. What the? How come it's Genocide Jill and not Toko? It's just amazing. Finally, a place I can just be my murderous self. Which is why I've decided to stop holding back and spread my wings. No more hiding in the cave for me. I have another battle to fight. The whole killer with a split personality thing is so overdone. Gotta destroy that stereotype. I'll fight all day and all night to murder those totally slanderous cliches. But you are a killer with a split personality. If she weren't here, my chances of survival would go up at least 10%. You gotta back me up here. Even the biggest stars need the little people to hold them up. Alright. Whatever else we do today we should eat. First we should eat. Can't do anything on an empty stomach. Let's hurry up and eat so we can start our investigation. Forced to eat breakfast with a murderer. After a much needed but very annoying meal, set to work looking around the school. I mean, the one with Mondo felt brutal, but for some reason, I don't know why, but seeing Leon's face with the baseballs just felt a little more, I don't know, there to me. Maybe it was also just because of the fact that, I think it was also because Leon wasn't ready to die. But Mondo just kind of accepted it. So I don't feel as despaired by Mondo's as much as I was by Leon's at first. Oh boy. But this Hope's Peak definitely has a lot in store. Anyway, that'll be the end of this one. This has been TAG, the Advent Ghost. Thank you for watching the however many parts this may or may not be. And I'll see you all in the next one.